Hi, how you doing? I'm back. So technically, this is not going. I'm not going to start classifying them as episodes because they're really not at this point. It's just updates. So, um, yeah, I'm back. Uh, and by the way, I've noticed a couple more subscribers here and there. Thank you so much. I didn't know when to put out this next video, but I figured if I don't put anything out, then I'm not really holding up on my word. A little update though. Uh, the video of the upgraded baritone, Barry 6, I think I'm going to start calling it, is coming. It's set up and everything. So it's here. It's just the editing process is such a pain in my ass. But hey, that's the joy of YouTube videos. But it is coming, and hopefully it is a good project or a good product that reflects what I was working on. Moving forward, though, in this video, I thought, well, why not share a little bit about me and my musical know-how? Like, what got me into music? Um, it's weird because I have always had influences in music that I'm like, oh yeah, this influenced me as a guitarist. Oh, this influenced me as a bassist. This guy did it. This guy did it. Yeah, everyone's got one of those. They're guitar players or bass players or just instrumental players that you strive to always like follow after. You know, motor. Let me kill Mr. Motorhead was like the guy that drove my bass playing. Same as Tom Hamilton of Aerosmith. Yeah, guitar playing. Adam D, Joel Stretzel of Killswitch Engage, Alexi Leho really did it and set that shit in stone. But it's weird because later down the line, I got older and I realized that I was looking for something unique. And I could never figure out why I was striving for it. And I finally found them. Progressive metal. Gent, if you don't know the terms. Periphery. Animals as Leaders. Those are two bands that stay on my repeat, like just on, like they're on repeat almost all the time. Do I listen to other prog metal? Yeah, I do. But they kind of do it. I'm like, oh yeah, these are my influences. No, they're not. I tell people that because their music influences me to keep doing what I do. So let me give you a little something that about me that what do I listen to like on repeat almost all the time? Periphery, Animals as Leaders, Killswitch Engage, metalcore, Cold Rain, Japanese metalcore, and Man with a Mission, Japanese rock. Four of those five have something in common. And it's weird because last week I was thinking about it. I was like, they really do kind of have that love that of music. Like that, I guess that ideal that I look for in music. Atmosphere, immersion, something that gets me can be emotional or hit that right feel good spot. Well, I know who my biggest influence is. It's not a band. It is a person though. Well, people are part of bands, so. But it is not. They are not part of a band, but they are a singular composer. So I'm gonna give you some more background. Growing up, I before I even touched my first instrument, which was a bass, I didn't want to do anything other than play games. I wanted to come home from school, get food, play on my PlayStation. Nothing more, nothing less. It's understandable, especially, that it keeps you out of trouble. Well, also doesn't get you in trouble. Also keeps it gets you made fun of too. Could also get you in trouble depending on what you do. What kind of games you're into. But at the time, I started finding love for JRPGs. If you don't play games, term is Japanese role playing games. my first JRPG is a game called Valkyrie Profile Lilith. It was ported here from Japan to the States. It was my first experience with an RPG, and I loved it. I loved it. I never got my hand until on Final Fantasy later on, which I'll bring up, the music of Final Fantasy in a bit. But I played that game, and I had never been so immersed in it. The stories, the settings. The story is, you're a Valkyrie sent by the Allfather, Odin, to find the souls of the fallen or slain, and find those who are of righteous or the that how was she's to find the souls of the slain to send them to Asgard to fight in a war, a world-ending war, Ragnarok. If you're familiar with Nordic lore, there it is. So I had always been enamored with that, and later on in life I realized why. But pushing forward, different topic. That game immersed me so much. The music was there, and I think that's kind of what it was. But it was just a game at the time for me. Played it, loved it, every bit of it. More consoles come out, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, my next console that I had that I played, a big life changing game for me was on the Game Boy Advance. Golden Sun, and then its sequel, Golden Sun: The Lost Age. Oh my god, I could gush about this game all day long. From front to back, top to bottom. I had, at the time when I played this game, played at least Lost Age, it kind of like dawned on me, whoa, 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 whoa. The neurons were, they connected. I go, the soundtracks are kind of the same to Valkyrie Profile. Why is that? I was like, because now I'm immersed into this. But was I really immersed into that? No, I was. But why? I think I was like, what, 10, 11 at the time? I didn't know. I didn't know at the time. So I finished those games, and then I started seeing more ports of PlayStation games from Japan come over here. I had a PlayStation 2 at the time. I played Tales of Destiny. At the time, it was kind of a rough, English translation, so hard for me to really play through. And there it was again. Another neuron kicking in, attaching to the other two. I go, whoa, hold on. I was so immersed into it, then I caught it. I go, whoa, this soundtrack's almost similar to Golden Sun and Valkyrie. Whoa, okay, hold on. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole. Played it as far as I could before I burnt out the disc somehow. I don't remember what I did. I lost an expensive game. Moral of the story. And then I was able to pick up a copy of Star Ocean, Second Departure. Star Ocean and Valkyrie Profile did have one thing in common: publishers. But they had one bigger thing in common altogether: the soundtrack. And then it dawned on me, I was like, oh my goodness, it's the same guy. Because all these games I had been immersed into so much, just enthralled in just every village, kingdom, field, forest, mountain, combat scene, was created by one man and his team of, musicians. But this man instead is the composer, Matoi Sakuraba. He is the reason I'm in, really, at least I see it, is the reason I'm into progressive metal. Like Periphery, Amos' Leaders. There are a lot more prog metal, groups. But, my point is, I never realized that Matoi Sakuraba would kind of open my mind into to soundtracks. And I started thinking, my music journey isn't just me listening to metal and rock and blues and jazz and stuff like that, because they weren't my, these musicians weren't truly my first ever influence. In reality, the person who picked me, really got me to pick up this bass, was Matoi Sakuraba. I have so much, gratitude to his works. And I also have so much gratitude to him opening up my eyes to other soundtracks. If you, like I said, for Final Fantasy, you have Nobuo Uematsu. Definitely drove the soundtrack for a lot of these real popular Final Fantasy games. But he wasn't. He was there in my biggest influence for soundtracks. But Matoi Sakuraba really helped me redefine what it is to be immersed into feeling. To give a little more detail, is he didn't help. He didn't write any of the soundtrack, but he didn't help. But it was proof that his influence still is, helping me thrive and grow as this, where I guess calling myself a musician now. I am currently playing a game called Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Just came out like not that long ago. And when I tell you, the story is dark, but it's dreary and moody, and there's this feeling of a hope. The soundtrack immerses you so much. And when I tell you, it's grasped me so hard, I'm like, oh, this is, oh, it's amazing. Like, it just makes you want to keep going. And it makes me realize I really, really am influenced by soundtracks. And if it wasn't for Matoi Sakuraba to really show me that you can really get feeling and emotion with, you know, singular, points in music, I don't think I'd be where I am, music wise. I'm thankful for what he's done and kind of what he's given, his music has given me. This ability to be more open minded than just to be stuck and confined into, six, seven, or eight strings, And I've kind of thought more outside of the box. One of my biggest dreams is to be a part of a soundtrack or write my own. So, but yeah, I want to give you a little more contexture about what I want to do. And whenever you start hearing music, flourish, that's it. It's going to be my influences. Now, to the foreshadowing. What does that have to do, and why is that I said periphery? Well, I kind of feel, like Misha has a lot of that soundtrack writing, and it's phenomenal. Then again, he was also part of the soundtrack for Deus Ex. Love that game. Um, he's also helped out with a couple of others, and it's awesome. Okay, now the foreshadowing. I did say four of those bands I listed: Cold Rain and Man with a Mission. Man with a Mission was on a Japanese anime movie soundtrack. Think the Demon Slayer uh, movies. Don't hold me to that. I don't remember. But Cold Rain. Cold Rain is one that kind of I will always gush about. I knew about them and I started listening to them, but my little boy and me had the biggest moment. And whenever I say big moment, it it put an influence on it. Now, did it bite the bug for to the music spark? Probably not, but it did enthrall him in a little more into more territories of music. We were watching an anime called Ninja Kamui. First episode, there was our like, hey, we're gonna watch a series together, and that was it. You want to watch an anime, darker anime? That's what we did. Whenever they first play, whenever it got to the point of them playing Vengeance by Cold Rain, his jaw dropped, and I could just see like him being enthralled in that moment. Like it was there. It brought a tear to me, to my eye. I'm not gonna lie, but it made me realize that soundtracks are really kind of a big part of my life. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So yeah, I just want to give a little background, like who I am. what to expect. Like, if you understand, oh, this dude's not a metal musician. No, I'm not. Because soundtracks really evolved me. So, yeah, that's pretty much it to this video. Like I said, I just want to give a little who I am, a little peer into what I am, what drives my brain. And when you start seeing more, you're going to go, that makes sense. He's an idiot. Probably think I'm an idiot now. But yeah, thank you guys so much. To whoever's watching, to whoever's subscribed, thank you. It really means a lot. It just means I have more of a reason to keep pushing out more. It just means that more people are watching me act like a fool and gab way too much. But yeah, thank you. The video is going to be coming. When? Till I figure this shit out in editing, then it'll happen. But it is prepped. So I will probably do a couple more clips of me doing things like shorts. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But, until then, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.